guys, welcome back to my channel. Whomst are you? Because I am the girl and you can be too.
That's good.
My name is Khanyi, and if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. So today, guys, we are going to be speaking about some survival tips, right? Things that can make it a little bit easier on this journey of being in university. And these are just some of the little things that I feel like really went a long way in helping me on a day-to-day basis, because it just gets so busy, uni gets so demanding, and it's just always nice to have some tips and tricks to get through it, you know? The first thing I would give as a tip is be flexible, right? From the moment you arrive in the university, it's such a different environment from what you know in high school. You're facing, a different crowd of people. You're meeting lecturers that teach differently as well and do things differently. So my first tip would be, be flexible, learn to adapt. It's not going to be, exactly as you thought sometimes. Be open to the experience and truly immerse yourself. I think that was the best advice I got in the beginning when I arrived here. I remember my aunt messaging me saying immerse yourself in the experience. It only happens once, and it's such a beautiful time in your life that, all you can do is be open and, make the most of it. I feel like the ways that I immersed myself is I just learned to kind of go with the flow, I'll never forget my drama teacher saying to me, guys, in university, they do not baby you. So the way we are helping you guys, giving you all these additional notes, doing all these extra revision classes, that doesn't happen in university. And I always kept that in mind. So that's what helped me adapt a bit and not complain so much about why aren't they doing it like this? Why aren't they doing it like that? Just go with it, okay? It gets easier as you go. Next tip I would give is be organized. It's so easy to miss out on information or a quiz or an assignment or a due date, and that's the worst feeling ever, because everything counts in uni, right? Every little thing you're doing can help with your final mark, so you don't want to miss out on things. So my biggest tip is be organized. Something that practically that really helped me was getting a calendar. So here at my desk, I've got a big calendar for each month. I write down everything. I know at UJ they give us these things called learner guides, and it kind of gives you an idea of what's going to be happening for the semester and what topics you're learning each week, etc. So you can take a notebook and have that all written down, or have a calendar and make sure you have those things written out, because if you're just going with the flow and hoping the lecturer brings it up, babe, you're gonna miss out on something, you know what I mean? So, definitely don't rely on hearing the information, rather get ahead of it, have a calendar, write these things out so that you really, really don't forget them, and have them somewhere where you'll always see it and you won't miss it. Another piece of advice or a survival tip that I would give is what I noticed in uni. When I was there, I remember my first few classes, people don't really be asking questions. I will never forget a lecturer asking a question, everyone just went quiet. And I was wait, so guys, none of us know the answer? Guys, what's going on? So people are a bit shy or something, And I think everyone's a bit intimidated. There's so many people in the room. So people don't really ask questions. And if they do, it's the same two people, you know what I mean? So my advice is if you don't understand something, go and consult with your lecturer, right? Or go consult with a tutor if you guys have started tutorials. Definitely reach out, because otherwise, you'll just never get the assistance that you're looking for. So I quickly realized that, okay, you know what? People don't ask questions. I can't tell if people know what's going on or don't know what's going on. So I just told myself, let's be brave. let's go to the lecturer's office. And I would just like, you know, reach out to lecturer, ask to make an appointment with them, and then like show up with the work and say, hey, I read over this and this and that. This is the part that I'm stuck on. How do you usually test this? How will this look like in an exam? All of that. So like, I feel like don't be afraid to engage your lecturers. Obviously, not all lecturers are approachable, so it's fully understandable if you don't want to take that route. But then this is where making friends is important as well. Like, having people in your classes that you can approach and say, hey, are you free today? Can we go to the library? Can we quickly talk over this? Or, hey, can I get your number? I just want to send you something that I was stuck on. You know, like, so this is where making friends is also very important. So that's another tip I'd give you. But going back to engaging lecturers, like, I definitely think don't be afraid about it. Obviously, go there knowing that you've done some sort of work or you've done some sort of reading. Don't go there and be like, hey, I don't know what's going on. You know, like, have an idea of some of the work and just explain where you're getting stuck, because I feel like lecturers are quite helpful if you meet them one-on-one. But again, not all lecturers are easy to talk to, and not all of them are always available. So don't always rely on that avenue. Like, definitely for me, once I got into like second semester of first year and I'd actually met some people, I actually started like consulting way less, because now I'd actually found some people that I can talk about the work with instead of like having to make an appointment with the lecturer. So it's not always like you know, the best route, but I do think it's a good tip. Like, if you have a real issue with something and you want someone to properly explain or to give you an idea of, you know, how they're going to test it, then go straight to the source, go straight to the lecturer. Next tip I would give is find ways to work smart, not hard, right? Because in uni, like, the time is very little and you've got a lot to do, right? So you need to find ways to kind of have good time management and read the situation to say, okay, I'm running out of time. I've only got a week. How can I, you know, break up all this work and get it done faster? Like, do things in a way that makes sense for the time you have. Sometimes when you're working like too hard, like sometimes like that's not proper studying, you know what I mean? When you're just sitting for hours in front of a book, that's not really, you know, the best way to go about it in uni all the time, because then you'll always be sitting in front of your desk, like, because there's always work to be done. For me, what really helped me with that, and I feel like I spoke about it in like another video, is like I stopped like rewriting lecture slides, because I just could tell like this is taking up way too much time for the amount of work that's coming in. Like, I'm just taking too long with making notes. So I was like, okay, an alternative is to print out those notes and then rather, you know, read a bit in the textbook and then make my own summarized notes like closer to tests. So you just have to find ways to kind of lessen the load and like study smart is what I'm really trying to get at. Like, of course you have to work hard, but study smart. Don't sit there for hours doing one chapter, doing one module. Like, find a way to pick up the pace and like rearrange the work so that you can get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get through it. Like, I remember like being in first year, even now in final year, where I would literally have like 3 days to study like 5 chapters. You'll literally be told like, hey, these 5 chapters are in your first test. And you'll be like, what? I literally just learned, like, I haven't even figured out chapter 2. Like, what do you mean we're writing a test already? So, like, that's how crazy it can get. Like, there's just so much work. So you need to do things in a way that, like, you can manage all of that. Like, I remember, like, by the time now I was in final year, like, oh, I was studying, like, I could study, like, 5 chapters, like, a night before. 2 nights, 3 nights max. Like, I'm being so serious because I was always under pressure and there was always, like, so many things I needed to do. So I'd tell myself like 3 days before a test, like, hey, time to lock in on this. And I'd only give myself 3 days. I'm not saying do that. It might not work for everything. Like, I knew for finance, I can't start like 3 days before, like, or I'll flop. So there's just those modules that you need to be like, okay, how can I do this quickly? Like, what's a way I can get this done? Like, you know, you need to figure out what works, what makes sense. So everything I say to you guys, like, sure, take the advice, but also like listen to yourself and figure out what works for you, basically, you know. But yeah, definitely in uni, work smart, not hard, because you're always under pressure. You'll always feel like you're falling behind. So this is where being flexible comes in as well. Like, you just need to adapt. You need to go with the flow. Yes, like, you probably failed the other test, but another one's coming. So like, you need to like refocus on that. You just need to be flexible and like, you know, take the blows, take the L's, take the wins, and just like keep going, because it just happens all so quickly, right? Still on this work smart, not hard. Basically also what I'm trying to say is like, make sure you're understanding the work and not just memorizing the work, right? So that's why I could like study in like 3 days, because I would read the work and I would make sure I'm understanding it, you know, as I'm cramming it. Like, I'm also understanding it, because that makes it easier in the test. Like, when you don't fully remember like the exact words that the lecturer used, you can be like, okay, but I remember my own understanding of it, and that's what you can write instead, right? And you can still get marks for that if you have like obviously the key parts and key words. So that's what I'm trying to get at, is like, make sure when you're studying, like, you're understanding and not just like memorizing, because there's just so much material that if you're just like trying to like learn every single word and learn every little thing, like, by the time you're writing the test, it's like, it's too much. By the time you need to write, it's a lot that you're trying to like keep in your brain, you know. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at. So let's get into more day-to-day survival tips, right? Because cooking, child, that thing takes up way too much time. Like, I love eating good food, but like, no, like, I just was never willing to spend like 2 hours every day making myself food, or dinner rather. So like, my tip around cooking is like, try, like, what do people do? Like, meal prep. Yeah, try meal prep. Like, make enough chicken that can last like maybe 2-3 days. Make enough rice that can last like 2 nights, you know. Or if you're gonna make yourself a pasta, make sure you're making a portion that can last like tonight and then tomorrow as well. And then Wednesday you cook something new to last for Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, maybe you spoil yourself, you get yourself like a takeaway, you know what I mean? Like, cooking every day, I don't know how the girlies do it and the guys do it. Like, I be seeing people cooking every night, and I'm just like, no. Because for me, my thought was always like, okay, if I make myself a stew, right, I now have to wash pots and plates, and no. So that's why I was always like, there has to be an easier way to do this. So I would always like cook something that can last me at least 2 nights, you know. So that's like my biggest advice with like cooking and whatever. Like, work smart, okay? Don't be cooking every day. We ain't got time for that. Obviously, if you love cooking and you don't mind doing that, love that for yourself. Like, I know for people that's like their me time, you know. People love that cooking time, but for me, I was always like, no, this is taking up way too much time, especially because like, I like working in the evening. So like, in the day, I have no problem with making myself like a big beautiful breakfast and spending time eating and whatever. But like, by the time it's like evening, like, that's when I need to lock in. And so in the night, I was just like trying to find ways to just cook that, you know, cook like for 2 nights, you know. And I think that just like made it easier for myself. Obviously, if you want to cook every day, do you, like, love that for you. But yeah, like, for me, and guys, another tip when it comes to cooking, like, if you can, get on top of it whilst you're still at home, okay? Like, take advantage of having a mother who's making you meals and start learning from them right now. Don't wait till you get here, because like, I feel like come with some basic cooking skills. Otherwise, you will struggle in the beginning. Obviously, like, there's so many ways to learn how to make meals. Like, you can watch YouTube, you can watch TikToks, Instagram Reels. Like, there's so many recipes out there. But I will say, like, come through with basic cooking skills. So if you're like living at home right now, like learn how to make yourself the basic stuff whilst you're still there. Don't try learn all of it when you're here. Obviously, someone might be like, isn't that obvious? But like, no, some people aren't cooking at home. I didn't cook at home. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I used to like never cook at home. Like, I don't know, like my mom was always just like, girl, focus on academics. Like, I don't want you cooking. I don't want you doing too much. Like, just focus on your books. So, but by the time like I was in matric, I knew some basic cooking skills. Like when I got here, it wasn't like it's my first time grabbing a spatula, grabbing a pan and oil and trying to make myself food. Like, no. Like, so come with basic cooking skills that will make a difference in the beginning. And then as you go, you can get creative and obviously like make, you know, the specific recipes that you want. Since we're talking about food and all of that, let's get into budgeting. Like, that's the next tip, guys. Learn to budget, to survive with the money or allowance that you're getting. You know, because in the beginning it's exciting. It's like, oh my God, I have like all this money. Forgetting that you need to buy like a whole thing of groceries, you know? So make sure you're like every month asking yourself, like, how much am I willing to put towards this and that and this and that, right? And it also just helps with like not running out of money. Like, there's nothing more painful than, you know, wanting to do your hair and you're like, oh, I overspent on this and that and now I can't go do my hair, or I can't, I don't know, eat out with my friends and go out with them. So find a way to, you know, budget. And I feel like budgeting is a skill that you just need to keep practicing. Like, you won't get it the first time round. Like, especially for me, like, I was not very much aware of like the prices of things. So like in the beginning, I would just like be like, okay, like this is what I need, this is what I need. So only like by the time I was like in month 2 of living by myself for the first time, did I know, okay, this is how much I'll put towards groceries, because I started to figure out like how much I really eat. So like it's definitely a skill that you can, you know, work on over time. So it's not anything to worry about if you don't get it like the first time round, but I definitely think it's like a really great tip to learn how to budget so that you can also save for things. Like, I think that's something I was really good at. So I wasn't necessarily good at budgeting. Like, I actually, if I'm being honest with you guys, I didn't write up like, we're gonna spend like this much on food and, you know, like, no, I didn't do that. But I was really good at saving for some odd reason. Like, I'd always like ration out a certain amount every month. I knew like not to touch that. Like, I always knew what's my limit. Like, I knew that if I'm left with this much, like, we stop immediately. So I wasn't really good at budgeting, but for some reason I was really good at like saving money. Like how can I explain it? Like, I just knew what was my limit. Like, I knew that every month, like once I'm left with like 200 rand, no, I need to save that, you know? Or if I'm left with like 500 rand, like, no, let's save it. Like, let's not like buy clothes, or let me not do my nails. That's another thing. You have to like ask yourself, like, what are you willing to like sacrifice? Like, for me personally, when I saw the price of lashes, I was like, it's gonna have to count me out. I can't be doing lashes every month. Not that you need to do them every month, but you get what I mean. Like, there's certain things that I had to sacrifice and go, child. Like, I was like really good at that aspect of like just being able to save and like prioritize like little things that I like doing for myself. For some odd reason, I never bought clothes. I don't know why. I just never bought myself clothes, and that's something I actually really want to work on, because like I just feel like I lack basics. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I just don't buy myself clothes like on a day-to-day basis. So like, I just feel like I have the most random stuff. Like I don't have nice normal day clothes, because like clothes were always something I think about only now in December. Like, for example, now I know I'm going to be traveling to the Eastern Cape, and we're going to be there like basically like for a month. Well, not a month, like just half a month, but we're gonna be there for a while. So it's like, whenever I know I'm gonna pack for a long trip, only then I'm like, wait, I need to buy this and that. And like, I don't know why it happens in the end of the year, but that's the only time I truly think of like buying clothes. And then throughout the year, like, I'll think of like one item that I need, like, oh, let me buy myself like a pair of sneakers. but like I don't really be buying clothes like that. So I think that also helped me save a lot of money. But yeah, guys, that's a very important tip. Learn to budget, learn to save. So my last tip for this video is, I would say, look after yourself. Like, prioritize mental and physical health, because that can actually, make or break your journey in university. Like, if your mental is not at the right place, like, your university gets hard. If you're not sleeping, if you're not eating right, if you're not exercising, if you're not doing anything for yourself, just know university is gonna kill your spirit. Like, if you're not doing things for yourself and just like generally taking care of yourself, like I don't know how much more to emphasize it. Like, it will get hard. Like, everything will feel like the world's ending. So like, that's my biggest tip. Like, learn to just prioritize your mental health. And ways that I did that is learning to journal. Like, in first year, I was a journaling warrior. Like, I don't know what happened now in final year, but in first year, I think it's because it was a lot of, new things for me. So I felt like I had so much to say in my journal. Like, there was a lot going on, like making friends, like meeting new people. Like, I had so much to say, and it was just so helpful to like put it all in a journal and reflect, like, how do all these new things make you feel? How does it feel to live by yourself? That was something I really struggled with. Like, I would always like reflect on that and go, okay, why am I not enjoying being by myself? Like, why do I find it so lonely? How can I make it more fun for myself? And that's when I realized, like, I'm actually someone who really likes company. Like, maybe I should have considered a roommate, but like, no. I'm actually, when I look back, I'm glad that I chose to live by myself, because the only people that I could be roommates with is honestly my family. Like, I don't think I want to have conflict with someone that I don't know, and it's like, I have to state the obvious things, like, no. But anyways, back on topic. But like, yeah, just learn to sit with your thoughts and have honest conversations with yourself. If you're struggling, like, if something's going really wrong, like, you need to be able to acknowledge that first, right? So that you can reach out for help. Like, here at UJ, we have what can I call it? Sorry. Like, you can get therapy, you can get free therapy at some universities and get like counseling services. So like, be curious as well when you're in university, like, because there are, people and places that you can go for help. Exercise, like, be active in any way. And this is what I spoke about in my other video, just like having a hobby. It's so important to have a hobby. It's so important to have something that's keeping you up and going, so that you're not just stuck in your room taking naps, watching series, sitting on your phone, doing schoolwork. Like, no, have something that you can look forward to in the week that will get you out of your room. I want to end my video with that important tip. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. I hope you've taken something out of this video and it can help you in all aspects of life. Yes, this is a university series, but honestly, like, all these survival tips can help anyone. I do want to share that yesterday I got all my marks, so I'm a done babe. I'm finished. I'm a graduate. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice, because I'm a qualified babe. Everything I'm saying is coming from someone who's qualified. You understand where I'm coming from? Do you get where I'm going with this, right? Like, I am done. So really, guys, like, it goes by so quickly. Like, that's what I can say. Like, and my dad used to say this to me. Like, I feel really young. Like, I feel like a baby adult. Like, I'm shocked that I'm already done. So it's like, it really just goes by so quickly. And that's why I just keep saying, like, immerse yourself in the journey. Like, put yourself out there, be open-minded, because it really just goes by so quickly. In the moment, it feels heavy, it feels a lot, you're drained, you're burnt out. Like, all these different things happen, throughout the years. But keep your head up, don't give in, don't give up. So I hope all my survival tips make a difference, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you feel like you have survival tips of your own that you want to add in the comments, like, go for it.